Hi everyone, this is Sky here to talk a little bit about the blessings that we are moving into at the end of November. I hope that you are feeling better and that you are coming face to face with the things that have held you back, being able to see the past for the truth of what it was, and being able to move on at this time. We had that super potent mercurial solar eclipse on November 11th. And now we are moving forward into brighter, more positive, more energy prolific times. This Venus-Jupiter conjunction that we are having on November 24th will really help. It will really help the difficulty that you might have encountered. It will really give an opportunity to clean up the headspace, to clean up the pain that you might have endured or the pain that you might have come face to face with over the beginning of November. But really since around September, when we had those origami signature transits, there was a very strong chapter between September and November, and that energy line begins to diffuse and pass on November 24th. So I'm super excited to be speaking about this transit and the positive things that can come through for you at this time as we're moving toward the November 24th Venus-Jupiter conjunction. There will also be a Mars-Uranus activity at that time too, but this video is specifically about the Venus-Jupiter side of it, and I will probably do one about the Mars-Uranus. But I also wanted to invite you to my channel on Friday, November 15th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I will be having a live premiere of a video that is a follow-up to the mercurial solar eclipse. So we're really going to delve into the shadow self, understand some key concepts about the shadow self, how to not get tied up in that web, but also how to channel it with an ability to ascend further. So yeah, if you're interested in diving into shadow self themes, I will be having a premiere on this Friday, November 15th, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I wanted to invite you because I really love the live premieres. It's great to get that sense of community. It's great to talk to everyone. I like to do on-the-spot readings. It's always a fun time. So if you are free on Friday evening, do feel free to come to my channel, and I will link that below as the top link. You can set a reminder and always have that subscribe button hit so that you can get the notifications when these videos come through. But anyway, yeah, to move on into this topic of Venus-Jupiter conjunction, it really has the best of intentions, but it can sort of find itself signing up for too much or taking on too much or just really being too nice for its own good as well. The Venus-Jupiter conjunction in November is so important, okay? It's so important to offset the weight, the heaviness, the density of the year of 2019. So 2019 has been a very dense year. It hasn't been as painful of a year as some of the recent years, like 2014, 2016. It hasn't so much been painful, but it has been dense. It has been, if you could imagine like taking two blocks and really pushing them together, like two wooden blocks, and you just push and push and nothing really cracks, nothing really erodes, but there's just like that heaviness about it. That's sort of how I feel the energy to have been in 2019. And there is an opportunity here towards the end of the year because, as you know, astrologically, we move through the years with the new year being March 21st during when Aries time comes. So Pig year is lasting, 2019 year is lasting until March 21st. So yeah, we have a few more months here to let this be easier, to have a better time, to get some upward mobility, to let our projects flower, okay? And that's what this transit of Venus-Jupiter conjunct November 24th starts. It's really planting the seeds of flowering, and even allowing you to flower through some of the seeds you've planted maybe when Jupiter went retrograde over the summer of this year. So yeah, the first thing about this transit is make sure that you are accepting the gifts of it. Make sure that you are taking a moment to observe the flowers of your life. Make sure you are taking a moment to, see the complexity actually. So a lot of 2019 has dealt with, letting things be easy. Okay, seeing the simplicity, right? And I've actually received a download that during this specific time there is a gain to be had by getting complex with things and admiring the complexities of nature as well, to sort of, again, offset the simplicity that we've needed to find this year. So again, this transit really offsets. It's really the key word, because everything around this transit is quite somber, quite dense, quite, Martian, Plutonian energy. And we move into Sagittarius time, and there's this small light, this small flower amongst sort of a dark nihilistic backdrop that is this Venus-Jupiter conjunction. And what that represents is truly a sort of magic realism within your life. So there could be truly an ability to embrace a sense of ethereal magic at this time. So it is an important time for healthy ritual. It is an important time for reconnecting with old souls, or a time for reconnecting with the past for some people. It's not for everyone, because the mercurial solar eclipse of November 11th should have really given closure to the past. It should have really introduced a mindset or a reminder of how things truly are now in the current paradigm. So hopefully we're not trying to reopen the past with the Venus-Jupiter energy, but rather we are reintroducing ourselves to what we lost, and reintroducing ourselves to the parts that we need to take with us, okay? So reaching back to the past and taking what we needed and knowing what to leave behind. It's sort of like if you were to go through your closet and realize what needs to be donated and what needs to be kept. I do feel that there's been a haphazard energy about this type of thing over November 19th, about 2019. But I just said November 19th, so maybe that's a date for some of you as well, leading up to this. So watch out for November 19th. There can be like a recklessness or a haphazard getting rid of type of energy line. I will say that you have to know what to get rid of, and hopefully your clarity of this understanding has grown, and it really should have. But if you could really find something to let go of so that you can start to introduce new things into your life, because this Venus-Jupiter conjunction really gives us a nice opportunity to introduce new, okay? To maybe establish for the next 12 years, because Jupiter takes 12 years to transit. For the next 12 years, how are we going to have fun? How are we going to enjoy our lives? How are we going to warm up our palate? How are we going to, have warmth? Because the next few years are very cold energetically, okay? There is a frigid, barren type of energy line that will be present. So this transit on November 24th represents a visual. It's like this is where you find your warmth. This is the type of thing that you do when you need to come back to yourself, when you feel too cold, when you feel empty or anything like that. This is how you fill yourself up. So there's going to be a sign during this time for everyone, and a really potent sign for those of you who have some Sagittarius in your chart, of what is right, of what the right direction is, of what you can get sustenance from. However, there will also be a sign of where you can indulge too much, and a sign of where you can, have too much of a sweet tooth as well. So you want to look at desires and motivation at this time too. That is the other thing that can make this time a little bit jagged energetically, is the desire spectrum is fluctuating quite intensely. What do I mean by that? We have intensive Scorpio energy moving into Sag. We've had that extreme mercurial solar eclipse in retrograde Scorpio energy. We have a Mars-Uranus contact happening. So there's a really strong opportunity to feel too hard, actually. So do watch out for sensory overstimulation. It's important to relax to some degree. And if you are like having to be really on and having to be really activated, make sure that you are prioritizing time just to kind of be with the moment, okay? It's good to meditate. It's good to be soft and to relax. Okay, relaxation with Venus-Jupiter conjunct is important. This should give you a time to vacation, or it should give you a time to take off, basically. It might not be so great to be super, super activated, having to be so many places at once, having to be, all over, although it can indicate traveling too, and enjoyable traveling. But you do have to definitely exercise some holding back with that energy too, as Saturn is very prominently direct in Capricorn. So it's great to not overbook ourselves, or to not overextend what seems to be something enjoyable as well. So there's an important balance between, again, the desire spectrum of what we think that we need to do to enjoy. But what this transit can also be for some lucky people is a respite. Okay, this transit can be a side note, like a side flowering of energy before we really get into it in 2020, okay? What do I mean by this? 2020, and I'll have the 2020 Year Ahead series coming through December, guys. It's a lot of work, but it's a year where we have to have 2020 Year Ahead series, I will say. 2020 is a make or break type of year where things have to be very, very, it's so hard to articulate. My throat chakra is like, I can't even quite touch on this yet, but I can. Basically, we have a pattern and a set way that things have to be done in 2020 if we want to keep moving, if we want to not feel really held down. So what this transit can be is it can be a respite and a exhale, and it's, I don't want to say it's like blindfolding yourself or pretending that something bad doesn't exist, but it is kind of that, and it's actually okay on this small amount of time. You know, November 20th through November 30th, really, this is a time where it's okay to pretend that everything's okay. Okay, to pretend that everything's all right, to have a weekend getaway, to to live your life and to live in warmth and to live in happiness. Okay, not thinking about the pain that could come, not thinking about your health even. This is a very different type of message for me. It's okay to, but of course you have to think about your health. I mean, you have to think about who, you can't like risk your life or something here. This isn't what I'm saying, but it's really just desperately important to not be too, to not play things too safe. Okay, because this could be one of the last opportunities. November 24th, Venus Jupiter conjunct in Sagittarius. This could be one of the last opportunities to have fun without thinking about it, to enjoy yourself without worrying about the consequences, to enjoy those around you in a healthy way. Now, do we need to be like getting drunk and doing drugs and all of that type of stuff? No way, absolutely not. But it might be nice to enjoy yourself, though, to do things that are safe and do things that are fun. Okay, unquestionably fun, because it's, for some people, for some small minority of people, over 2020, they can have little windows of this as well through how they do it here. Okay, so this transit will remind your body of how to enjoy itself, how to feel like it's having fun, how to feel like it wants to live, okay? And this could be priceless. A priceless sort of sensory experience that gives you enough, okay, for the next years to come. And the next 12 years, really, because Jupiter is saying goodbye. Jupiter is waving goodbye to Sagittarius and moving into its fall sign. It's a debilitated sign of Capricorn, which is a fussy time for Jupiter, which is why I say that especially the beginning of 2020 and really middle 2020 the most, that is a time of feeling corseted, I will say, of feeling really pulled tight, and that's okay. We need that as humans to move on. But the point of this video and this channeling relating to the Venus Jupiter conjunction on November 24th is that do not corset yourself during this transit. Do not be overly frugal. Do not be dieting or saying, I can't have this, I can't have that. This is a time to enjoy your body and to enjoy your senses. The root chakra is important. The sacral root and solar plexus chakras, all three, need to be validated during this time because they can really release old patterns of, hyper-conservatism, old patterns of hyper-frugality, old patterns of grudge holding, of rooted trauma from betrayal through just, eating a cupcake, or through staying at a nice hotel, or through connecting with family members who you haven't seen in a long time who are very funny or very happy-go-lucky. Through having that phone conversation that makes you laugh like you haven't in a long time. Laughter is important. Watch comedy videos, watch something. Okay, so this isn't a transit where we're doing shadow work, okay? That's why I'm doing my premiere on November 15th, because we have an opportunity from about the 15th to the 23rd to shadow work if we want. But by the 23rd of November, shadow work time is over. Scorpio season ends and shadow work time is over. Shadow work does not get us far in 2020 and 2021. Of course, there are some people who will have that journey and it has to happen, but here is the time. Okay, here is the time. November 11th it is that I'm recording this video, but when the shadow self video goes up on the 15th, we are hoping to dive into it right then and be done with it. So that Venus-Jupiter time comes through and we're not operating in the shadow. We're operating in the light. We're operating in our happiness and we are enjoying life. So let yourself enjoy life. Let yourself enjoy your senses, because there's going to be plenty of time to diet. There's going to be plenty of time to budget. There's going to be plenty of time to make a timetable. There's going to be plenty of time to organize, to make templates, to, be forced to count every penny, to get all the discounts that you can, to really watch what you eat, to really maintain, sustain, and optimize. That's going to be what 2020, 2021, and 2022 are all about: maintenance, sustenance, and optimization. Okay, we can't get away with much in these oncoming years when it comes to breaking with diets, breaking with budgets. But here, it's important to kind of do it. Again, I'm not saying go out and spend a bunch of money on your credit card and make debt for yourself. Do not make debt for yourself under any circumstances, because making debt is the worst thing at this time. And the Venus-Jupiter can also be a debt. It's like swipe the credit card, buy everything. That's not what I mean. So do you guys understand the balance that I'm kind of pointing to with this? It's sort of like... you have a lot of money right now, reward yourself, but still be able to pay the bills, that type of thing. Okay? Reward yourself. Get something that ups your productivity. Get something that, if you have an old car and you've got money burning a hole in your pocket, it could be a great time to buy a new car. Mercury going direct on the 20th of November, November 24th or through the 30th, that could be a great time to buy a new car for some people. Don't let me, trigger you if you have, a shopping addiction or something. It's only if you need it, right? So it's not about getting the things that you don't need, but that's really another type of person that can really shine at this time. People who've been very frugal and people who have saved a lot and need to replace things or need new clothes, new cars, new all of these things. This is a part of what a Venus-Jupiter conjunction is about. It is about buying things, okay? It's about having stylish and nice things as well, having quality things. For some people, luxury things. Jupiter and Venus is the idea of luxury. So that's not right for everybody, but if it is right for you, it might be nice, okay? It might be nice. It might be nice to eat a meal at a really, really wonderful restaurant. The food that you eat on November 24th will stay with you for a long time, okay? The nutrients that you take in, so not a time for fasting at all. You will not feel full for the next 4 or 5 years if you were to fast on this day. Not a day to eat as much as you can on November 24th. This food that you eat on November 24th is nourishing your body for a long time to come, okay? Do not diet, do not fast, do not, also take too, potent of vitamins or, I don't know, concoctions, herbal things. That's not the time. Doing what is natural for the body here, all right? Also, watch out for being a yes man to the things you don't want to do. So you need to say yes to a lot of things during this transit, but the only negative side of this transit is you can also sign up for things or say yes to things that you don't want to do, to be like that soft, amiable, amenable person, okay? Jupiter, Venus makes us want to be nice to everybody, give everybody what they want. It's hard to say no or to deprive or to feel like we're depriving people or to do anything like that. So do know what isn't good for you at this time, okay? Not a great time to sign up for skydiving lessons when you have a horrible fear of heights because, the person that you have a crush on has kind of wanted to do that. We don't want you having some sort of agoraphobic attack or fainting while skydiving, next March when you've signed up for them by then. So things like that we can be sign up for weirdly adventurous things with this transit. Also putting too much money on the line, I'm going to do that timeshare. Don't sign up for anything that isn't right now. Okay, that's an important random message. So don't sign up for timeshares or adventures or vacations that don't take place now and put money on the line for things that don't take place now. Those will be weird experiences. Do things now, have the weekend getaway, do the vacation that you've had planned for now, go to the nice restaurant, go shopping in your area. But only now. Okay, this is a weekend, okay? Because it's actually happening on a weekend, this transit. It's exact, I think, on a Monday, but it's building on the 22nd through the 24th. Do what you want during that time, okay? Live for the present moment in that time. You will be rewarded and you will take a sense of optimism and a sense of fun and a sense of jovial enjoyment with you for a long time to come. So important transit. Thank you guys so much for being here. My throat chakra was kind of not working wonderfully, so I feel like I'm sorry if my communication wasn't super clear. Because again, this transit isn't so much about communication. It's not so much about speaking about it. This is sort of like a feeling transit. You just kind of feel it in your gut, and you feel it in like your life force that is like coursing through your body. It's something that loses a bit of itself through translation and through communication. So hopefully this video wasn't too simple, but I did just really want to make it clear to everyone that amidst these heavy, dense, life-changing transits of the mercurial solar eclipse, the Mars-Uranus contacts, Jupiter changing sign into Capricorn, amidst these things where we are scrupulous, meticulous, forced to make the right, correct, calculated decisions at the right, forced, correct, calculated moments, there is a respite and there is a present love to offset all of that. Okay? Beautiful time that will be unquestioned. Venus-Jupiter conjunction will overtake that Mercury solar eclipse, will overtake that Mars-Uranus. It doesn't mean that those won't channel into our lives. Okay, and you have to be a little bit careful. Don't be reckless. No drunk driving. This does not mean that you can do dangerous things, okay? I want to be very clear because there are accident indication transits about. Just because I've talked about, live for the present moment, do what you want. You can't like go drunk driving or walking through the dangerous part of town at 3 o'clock in the morning as like a single woman or something, right? No, those would be horrendous choices. But this transit does tend to overshadow and give us a guardian angel. It makes us lucky, but do not take advantage of that, right? Let that elevate you elsewhere. Do safe things. Safe, fun, protected, present-oriented, heart-oriented, enjoyable things, okay? With people you trust and people that you love. People that you love is a key word for this transit. Not a great time to be super alone. It might be good here and there, but don't be super alone during this transit. Connect with good friends, connect with good community if you could. And if you are alone, if there's not really much option for that, what a great time to finally love yourself, or to finally see this is the lifetime that counts for me right now. Okay? I hope that the subtlety, the complexity of this channeling has been communicated. And I hope that you guys are excited for a really beautiful respite from some of the more difficult energy before we get into a super focused, super necessary 2020. Okay. Thanks so much, everyone, for being here. And please do hop over to the link below where you can set a reminder for my live premiere. That will be this Friday, November 15th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. If you guys want to come to that, I would love to see you. I'd love to talk. And that's kind of how I want to start ushering in this energy. It's just through a bit of community, positive self-talk, positive building of each other. Let's have that on November 15th. And I will see you guys then. I have a lot of links in the description box. If you wanted to check out my new ebook about the moon, that is there. And yeah, just check below and it'll all be there. So anyway, everyone, your likes, comments, and subscribes, as always, make my day. Subscribe if you're new here. I have videos all about Jupiter, different planets. You can jump over to my channel and find all sorts of different stuff. I think I have like hundreds and hundreds of videos at this point. So here we are. Enjoy yourselves. I love you guys. We'll be talking soon. Bye.